The film opens with a scene set in a juvenile correctional facility in Los Angeles in the year 1998, where a fight erupts between Adonis Donnie Johnson, played by Alex Henderson, and another boy who taunts him about his deceased mother. Donnie is separated from the other boy and placed in his cell, where he is later visited by Mary and Creed, portrayed by Felicia Rashad. Initially, Donnie is unresponsive, assuming Mary and to be another social worker seeking to transfer him to another group home. However, when Mary Ann reveals that she is the widow of his father and invites Donnie to come live with her, he becomes curious and asks for his father's name. In present-day Los Angeles, Donnie, now played by Michael B. Jordan, competes in a boxing match in Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. He easily defeats his opponent and collects his earnings. 12 hours later, he returns to Los Angeles and resumes his desk job. However, feeling unfulfilled, he resigns and decides to move on. Donnie, played by Michael B. Jordan, visits the Delphi Gym in Los Angeles where his late father Apollo Creed used to train. Donnie challenges all the fighters in the gym to a match, with the winner earning the keys to his Mustang. After knocking down one fighter, professional boxer Danny Stuntman Wheeler, played by Andre Ward, steps up and defeats Donnie, claiming the keys. Donnie's eye is bloodshot from the fight and he goes to his stepmother Mary Ann's home, where she reminds him of the toll boxing took on his father. Later, Donnie watches an old fight between his father and Rocky Balboa, played by Sylvester Stallone, and mimics Apollo's fighting style. Donnie begins a fresh start in Philadelphia and settles into his new apartment. While watching the news, he learns about undefeated boxing champion Pretty Ricky Conlan, played by Tony Bellew, who faces his last professional match before possibly serving 7 years in prison for gun possession charges. Conlan's original opponent, Danny Wheeler, sustained a broken jaw in an altercation, leading him to file a lawsuit against Conlan. Later that night, Donnie is disturbed by loud music coming from the apartment below his. He confronts his neighbor, Bianca, played by Tessa Thompson, and demands that she turn it down. Although she initially agrees, the music remains at the same volume. Upon arriving at Adrian's restaurant, which is owned and managed by Rocky, Donnie spots a picture of Rocky and his father Apollo during their first match in 1976. When Rocky comes out to meet Donnie for the first time, Donnie asks Rocky to train him. However, Rocky claims to be done with training. Donnie also inquires about the third fight that Rocky had with Apollo behind closed doors at the end of Rocky III and asks who won. Rocky tells Donnie that Apollo emerged as the winner. Donnie decides to switch to a different gym run by Pete Sperino, played by Richie Coster, where he introduces himself as being from LA and earns the nickname Hollywood. Despite this, Donnie still seeks Rocky's guidance and support. Meanwhile, he becomes interested in Bianca after seeing her perform at a nightclub and decides to pursue a relationship with her. They bond over Philly cheesesteaks, but Donnie discovers that Bianca has progressive hearing loss and is preparing for the future. Rocky visits the cemetery and sits by the graves of his brother-in-law Paulie and Adrian. It's Paulie's birthday, and Rocky wants to remember his departed friend. Rocky takes Donnie under his wing and becomes a mentor figure, leading Donnie to affectionately refer to him as UNC, Uncle. Donnie trains with Rocky in the early mornings and develops a close bond with him while staying at his place. Donnie's first significant match is against Leo, Gabe Rosado, the son of Pete, who owns the gym Donnie previously trained at. Before the fight, Pete approaches Rocky and reveals that he knows Donnie is the son of Apollo Creed. While Pete wants to exploit this fact for publicity, Rocky prefers to keep it a secret. Despite taking a few hits, Donnie defeats Leo in the match. The news spreads that Donnie is the illegitimate son of Apollo Creed, born from an extramarital affair. Commentators begin to view Donnie in a different light, as he had anticipated, and many question how this revelation will affect Apollo's legacy. Meanwhile, in Liverpool, Conlan's manager, Tommy Holliday, played by Graham McTavish, hears of the news and sees it as an opportunity to create a highly anticipated fight. He travels to the United States to meet with Rocky and Donnie and pitch the idea to them. After much consideration, Rocky and Donnie agree to proceed with the fight. Rocky intensifies Donnie's training regimen, but Donnie becomes sick and collapses. Donnie rushes Rocky to the hospital, where he undergoes testing. Later, Rocky meets with the doctor and receives a diagnosis of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Although the doctor advises starting chemotherapy promptly, Rocky refuses treatment, citing Adrian's experience with a similar diagnosis. Donnie discovers Rocky's condition and becomes frustrated with his refusal to seek medical help. Rocky, however, chooses to accept his fate. After the news of his true identity is revealed, Donnie fears that he will be seen as a phony creed and a failure to his father's legacy. Seeking solace, he visits Bianca's performance venue and meets Tone Trump, played by Anthony Bryce, who takes a picture with him. However, Donnie becomes upset when Tone refers to him as Baby Creed, leading to a physical altercation and Donnie's subsequent arrest. Rocky bails him out, and Donnie seeks out Bianca to apologize and express his concerns for himself and Rocky. However, Bianca tells Donnie that they need to work on their individual issues before addressing their relationship and distances herself from him. Donnie and Rocky reach a compromise, wherein Rocky continues to train Donnie for the upcoming fight, and Rocky will undergo chemotherapy. After much extensive training, Donnie earns supporters around town, particularly from the youths in the area. The two fly to Liverpool for a press conference. Conlon shows up with Holiday and starts trash-talking Donnie, saying he is an overnight success and a false creed. Rocky holds Donnie back from making a dumb move, saying this is what Conlon wants. On the night of the big fight, Bianca shows her support by being in attendance, while Mary watches from home. As a gift, Mary sends Donnie his father's original American flag shorts. The fans jeer and boo as Donnie makes his way to the ring, while Conlon receives a grand entrance and the fans chant his name. The fight begins, with Conlon drawing first blood by cutting Donnie above the eye and winning the first round. Donnie rallies and lands some hits, but it's not enough to sway the opinion of the crowd. In between rounds, both Rocky and Holiday offer words of encouragement to their respective fighters. Donnie takes multiple hits, spitting out blood, and eventually, Conlon lands a hard blow to Donnie's left eye, causing it to shut completely. However, Donnie continues to fight with only one eye open. Conlon strikes Donnie again, knocking him down, but Donnie remembers what he's fighting for and quickly gets back up. Donnie unleashes a barrage of punches, bringing Conlon to the ground. Although Conlon gets up before the referee's count reaches 10, he acknowledges Donnie's skills with respect, and Donnie reciprocates. After a brief interview with a commentator, Donnie refers to Rocky as his family and expresses his love for Apollo, adding that he knows his father didn't leave him on purpose. The fans chant Creed as Donnie leaves the ring with Rocky and Bianca. In the final scene, back in Philadelphia, Rocky and Donnie climb the famed steps in front of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Rocky is a bit winded to keep going, but Donnie pushes him to keep walking up. As they get to the top, they admire the view of the city.